We decided it was safer just to keep our kids at home.
I'm trying not to be too stressed because I know that, it is what it is and it's happening.
It is happening today. Students, parents, teachers, it's the first day of school for so many in our area. This year, of course, looks very different because of the coronavirus pandemic, as does our newscast as we get you ready. We have full coverage this morning. We have our crews out in the field. Chrissy's here with your back to school forecast, and that's how we are going to kick off this 6 o'clock hour. Feeling pleasant again this morning.
Yeah, it is gorgeous out there, which is good news for that bus stop forecast.
We begin with Connor Ingalls out live in the field this morning at Forest Brook Middle School in Horry County.
All right, good morning, Crystal. Yeah, we're out here at Forest Brook Middle School, or the Swamp, as they call it, which I absolutely love. Feel right at home as a Florida boy. We're just about 2 hours away now from students getting back into these classrooms for the first official day of school since March. It's been that long. The Horry County School District is one of the school districts in our area opening up today with a hybrid model. So that means students are going to be split into 2 separate groups. And then from there, they're going to spend 2 days in the classroom and then 2 days doing virtual learning. And then Friday, everybody does e-learning. Again, 8:10 is what we're waiting for when the first bell rings and school really starts going. Faculty, though, already starting to trickle in here. Crystal, I did speak with the principal. I'm not in trouble yet, but she did agree to come talk with us on air in about 30 minutes, so we'll see if that's still true then.
All right, and like I cracked my lame joke earlier, not the first time Connor will spend time talking with the principal. Connor Ingalls, live for us this morning. We'll check in with him soon. As we know, it's going to be a very unconventional school year across our region. School nurses know this all too well. We checked in with one nurse at Socastee High School. She's also a mother and takes wearing masks and following CDC and DHEC protocols very seriously. She says students showing symptoms can now be isolated in 2 rooms in the nurse's office. Here's what she has to say to parents in hopes she won't have to use those rooms.
That it's very important for them to self-screen that student every morning. I'm going to be self-screening. Every staff member will self-screen. Teachers are going to do that in the morning. They're going to wake up, do that temperature, see if they're feeling sick, then they need to stay home.
She also says parents and students will have to call in and set up medicine exchanges during the day now.
Yeah, buses are rolling this morning here for outside St. James Middle School. We've already seen a handful of them leave, and parents, we know you are scrambling, racing against the clock, trying to get kids out the door and at those bus stops on time. But did you know that Horry County School District actually has a locator for bus routes and bus stops? Check this out. We plugged in where we're at now near St. James Middle School and St. James Elementary, and you can see all of the bus stops nearby.
Well, obviously, big story today is seeing how everything is going to go on this first day of school. It's going to look a lot different. We know that. I mean, you see right here, you got the social distancing signs, maintain 6 feet. They're all throughout this bus loop. You can head all the way back up to the main hallways, and they're all over the place there. Kids are going to have to wear masks. It's going to look completely different. But one thing that is not any different than it has been, back to school vaccinations. And doctors are reminding you parents how important it is. And if your child still needs them, it's actually easier than ever to get them because you can just go to a pharmacy. Under an emergency directive signed by the head of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, pharmacists nationwide can now give out child vaccinations. Katie Fox is a pharmacist at Nice Pharmacy in Conway. She says before the directive, they could only give out flu shots to kids 12 and older, but now they can handle all CDC recommended vaccines for kids 3 and older.
I think it takes a weight off the doctor's offices, and it gives an extra added convenience for the patients. So they do really appreciate that, and they don't have to go sit in a waiting room full of potentially sick patients.
And she says pharmacists are required to take yearly courses on vaccines and could already give them to adults, so nothing really changes for them except the size of the patient. But we also spoke to a Grand Strand family medical physician who supports the order but wants to remind parents this should not entirely replace a trip to the pediatrician.
They'll be checked to make sure they're meeting their milestones. There'll be a physical exam. And so if parents are taking their children to the pharmacy just to get their vaccine, and instead of going to their primary care doctor, the children might be missing out on those things.
For more on what vaccines your child needs depending on their age, you can look for this story on WPDE.com.